African Americans are not indigenous to the Americas in any historical, scientific, or tribal sense. The overwhelming body of evidence, including genetic research, historical shipping records, and cultural links, shows that African Americans are primarily descended from West and Central Africans who were forcibly brought to North America through the transatlantic slave trade beginning in the 1600s.
That trained whole societies to survive first and justify later.
While some fringe theories claim that Africans were present in the Americas before European contact, there is no credible archaeological or genetic evidence to support this.
Dishonesty is a trademark of being completely dunya-centric, or what you can call materialistic, meaning that you are inordinately concerned with material things, with material survival, with accumulating resources, and so on. Very Western. When material well-being feels threatened, then truth just becomes negotiable. You start to make up the rules as you go, to get what you want.
These claims are not accepted by mainstream historians or scholars and are considered pseudo-history.
Okay, so let's talk about how and why they can't tell the truth. I've said it many times. Westerners are incapable of honesty. They're incapable of telling the truth. I've explained many times. I'm not saying it's deliberate. It's not necessarily on purpose, no. That would be literally like saying someone who has no legs is on purpose not playing basketball. You understand? I'm talking about incapability, not deliberate, intentional dishonesty.
Although some African Americans may have distant Native American ancestry due to intermarriage, this does not make them indigenous.
I mean, obviously there are plenty of people who are just straight up liars out of the West and everywhere else, but I'm not talking about them. I'm saying that honesty is not their language in the West. Truth is not a dialect that they speak. They don't know how to speak that language. I know people get mad when I say that, but understand, I'm actually telling you something that has been done to you. I'm telling you something that you have been deprived of. You understand? I'm telling you something that you're a victim of by your culture, by your so-called civilization. They victimized you in this way.
While African Americans are not native to the Americas, they are foundational to the history and development of the United States.
This is the most graphic and the most literal form of kufar, covering up, concealing, burying the truth.
With a legacy that is deeply rooted in its social, economic, and cultural fabric.
And this is all they do. It's the only language they know, truly. This is the only language they know. And this is why everyone around the world is quickly coming to the conclusion that you simply can't be engaged with. The Westerners simply can't be engaged with. It's just not productive. It's not productive, it's not useful in any way whatsoever to engage with you. Like I've said before, in these interactions, no communication ever actually takes place when we talk to you, when people in the global South talk to you, when Muslims talk to you. And that's a shame. It's a shame what has been done to you, but it has been done to you. It's a shame what you've been deprived of as a human being.
They never taught us about that, but I can remember them telling us that my grandfather, Anthony, mother said that he came from Africa.
This dysfunction that has infected, intergenerational dysfunction that has been inflicted on your culture. Now, of course, some of what I'm talking about could be dismissed as their ignorance or their misunderstanding, or some sort of a personality disorder, like you can't pay attention, you have ADHD or what have you, or you're aggressive, you have a problem with your temper and so forth, and this is why you can't be engaged with, why there can't be productive, normal, healthy, rational conversations with you. But for me, I characterize all of these behaviors under the overarching label of dishonesty, because that's how it pans out. That's the practical impact. That's the practical outcome. You inject falsehood, you muddy the waters of discourse, you distract, you derail, you deny, you deflect, you sidestep. You bring in irrelevancies into the conversation. You bring in fake issues. You do anything and everything. Wallahi, you do anything and everything to try to stop honest discussion. You always try to obscure reality by hook or by crook. And so the practical impact of all of that, that all comes out to the same practical impact as if you were just lying. I mean, it goes much deeper than just false narratives. It's deeper than propaganda. We're actually talking about a culturally ingrained reflex against truth. A culturally ingrained reflex against true and honest discourse. This is a civilizational pathology. And in fact, it comes down to foundational morality, you see, because you have that insistence on moral relativism, which is nothing but nihilism for beginners. It means ambiguity, moral ambiguity. They're morally agnostic, you understand? That's the heart of their dishonesty. Because honesty, truthfulness, it's not just about words. This isn't just about what you say or what you don't say. Dishonesty isn't just calculated lying or deception. Honesty is not actually fundamentally an intellectual, or it doesn't originate in the intellectual sphere, if you understand what I mean. Because before you choose to distort reality through deception, before you string together words to speak a lie or to obscure the truth, you have in your heart already rejected reality and in fact the creator of reality and your inevitable meeting with that creator when you will be held account for whatever you say and what you don't say. You have imagined in your heart that you can actually weave an alternative reality. You can create your own fictional world, and that this fictional world is possible for you to somehow superimpose that upon the objective truth of the real world, and then you get to operate in your own version of the world according to your own rules, and you think that you can get away with it. You have internally convinced yourself that truth doesn't matter. So lies aren't lies, they're just equally valid alternative versions of reality. But existence is not a narrative. I said it's a civilizational reflex because it's both ingrained in the culture and because I think you can trace it back. You can trace how it grew out of the conditions, like I've talked about many times in Europe, in the West. You know, centuries of hard winters, thin soil, volatile harvests, recurrent scarcity. That trained whole societies to survive first and justify later. Dishonesty is a trademark of being completely dunya-centric, or what you can call materialistic, meaning that you are inordinately concerned with material things, with material survival, with accumulating resources, and so on. Very Western. When material well-being feels threatened, then truth just becomes negotiable. You start to make up the rules as you go, you know, to get what you want.
While some fringe theories claim that Africans were present in the Americas before European contact, there is no credible archaeological or genetic evidence to support this. These claims are not accepted by mainstream historians or scholars and are considered pseudo-history.
Lost in time and space. It's all lies. Whispers in the dark. It's all lies. Leaving their mark. It's all lies. A tale they weave. It's all our lesson. And it's the